Hi, Rachel Mead here, president and founder of Enhanced Prep. Thanks for joining me today while we take a look at this SAT writing and language question that talks about being precise. In this particular case, we can also tell that we're focusing in on pronouns because that's what I see changing in my answer choices. Now, hopefully by this point in time, you're remembering that if we have a question that's asking us about conforming to the conventions of standard English, we're remembering that we should only be focused period to period where our underline is. Anything else happening in our text is there to be a distraction. So let's look at what we have. The tiny bird, I've got my subject. That is ever so important to identify when we're working on a pronoun question because our pronoun is going to come in and replace that subject. The tiny bird can travel hundreds of miles without stopping, and blank can hover in place for minutes at a time. So I need to recognize that I'm just looking for my pronoun that can represent my tiny bird that I'm going to put in here. That does not tell me that it is female, so I need to eliminate answer choice C. I also need to recognize that this is singular, and so I'm going to eliminate answer choice C because this is plural. So that's going to leave me with an it and a that. And it can hover in place for minutes at a time, and that can hover in place for minutes at a time. It is my correct pronoun use, and I'm going to drop that in confidently and quickly move on to my next question. Now, I want to point out if you weren't following my expertise and reading more than was needed, you would fall for a great big trap that the test writers are doing here. Because they're using hummingbirds in a plural sense in an earlier sentence, they want to get that plural stuck in your head as you continue to read, because that's standardly what happens. Here's your subject, and we're going to continue on with that. So they're making answer choice C be a great big trap if we're not focused in on the actual subject where our blank is. So don't let those test writers steal your points. Make sure you're reading period to period where your underline is and ignore the rest of the distractions. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you soon.